Hi everyone, I hope you are having a wonderful time. Today I'm going to share iYima A70 Class D amplifier with iYima T1 Pro tube preamplifier stage that they send me together. So A70 Pro retail for around $200 price range, and T1 Pro is around $70, $80 price range depending on where you buy it. A70 can put out 185 watts of dynamic power, so you are looking around like 70-80 watts of maximum power output, 12-volt trigger input, and subwoofer out and subwoofer control knob. So I started using this A70 and T1 Pro combination in my streaming setup, watching movies and listening music through VM Ultra, soon to be reviewed, using RCA connections and also connected with subwoofer, and everything I try, it works great. It sounded nice and very reasonably good sound. For the price, performance and sound quality is just about right. So when I'm trying with the VM Ultra, it sounded very nice and well-controlled sound. Although I was using very low sensitivity speaker, soon to be reviewed, Dayton Audio Opal 1. Even that, it works very good. The T1 Pro tube pre-stage looks really nice with the blue glow and reddish orange kind of a glow underneath, which is really nice to look at it. Tone control, Bluetooth input, and 12-volt trigger output works great, right? I tried that, but when I want to use the subwoofer, that is the one thing that you have to go through A70 subwoofer out. That's the only thing. Other than that, everything works great. If they have subwoofer out on that T1 Pro, that'd be incredible. I mean, like 70-80 bucks, and you have decent preamplifier stage, which is neatly designed. Performance is very good for the price that they are selling it for. The T1 Pro would give you a little bit more denser and a little bit more body on the overall sound reproduction. So I tried that in my streaming setup. Then I moved it here, pairing with this Z2 UHD 8000. XLR cables connected and RCA cables are connected to T1 Pro, and also I tried back and forth, and overall sound is very similar. Even when I try both RCA and XLR inputs together connecting to A70, when I switch it using the front main button, it sounds very similar. Background noise, clarity, very similar between two inputs. So when I try back to back with Fosi Audio V3 mono amps, I tried both XLR and RCA inputs on these amps, Belden 8402 XLR cable, and AudioQuest King Cobra and Diamondback's cable on these. When I try that, XLR inputs are very similar. Fosi have a slightly laid back and a little bit more reserved and slightly less dynamic sound. The V3 monos, this A70 have a more vivid and dynamic sound with the better attack, I would say. Even though background noise is slightly noticeable, highs regions are slightly more vivid, and it can get tiny bit brighter and less refined in some of the music that I listen to, so but nothing major. But when I try RCA on these amps back to back, they are very similar. I mean, I was surprised by it. I thought they are gonna make big difference. Not much different, very similar. It can fool you in your blind setting if you do double blind listening. Advantage to Fosi V3 mono is if you're gonna use XLR inputs with them. That is a major advantage aside from different price of 2 amps and one single amp. Both of the amps, my maximum loudness level in this room is around 80-85 dB max, with this S1EX towers. With this JBL, probably like 75 and 80 dB peaks. After that, they get a bit bright for my taste and system that I'm used to listen to. But one thing that this A70 and 4Z V3 mono showed me is, I was using SMS SU1, I was using VM Ultra, right? Those are very decent and good quality and good sounding components for that price point. But when I switch over to this UHD 8000 from Zedu, I was streaming music using the music files internally that I loaded in there. It sounded much better, both of the components. So these little Class D amps really can improve in depending on your pairing component. That is the one thing that I like to mention. Performance is very good for the price that you are getting, and sound quality is dynamic, vivid, and spacious sound. One thing that really impressed me listening this setup, right, pairing this UHD 8000 directly connected to this A70 from AIYIMA, is the way that it can produce the soundscape and stereo image, dense and dynamic soundscape, and very good enhancement in width of the soundscape that it's producing. Also give me very nice stereo image. Like singer is right here in the middle kind of feeling. Not to the extent of my standard components, but for this price point, they are very impressive. That is only, achievable when I switch over to this UHD 8000. By the way, I will have links in this video with reference music, just in case if you are curious what type of music I listen to. Not only Grace Maya, by the way, just to clarify that. I find it to be very funny. So this one, A70, is, if you are looking for $200 price point with very reasonably good performance and sound quality that you can get out of it, I would totally recommend it to you. Please keep in mind, really important thing is you don't want them to be driving bright sounding speakers in general. Doesn't matter what make or what brand you use, as long as you are giving them neutral and richer side of a sounding speaker, they should sound and perform very well in your system. This room is 26 by 16 and it doesn't have any issue filling the room up to 80-85 dB range. So after 85 dB range, it was starting to suffer in control and refinement. So that's the downside of these small amps. For the price is good, performance is very reasonable for the price that we are paying. So I can totally recommend it to you to try it, my friend. That is my experience. Thank you for watching and happy listening.
Did you say I've got a lot to learn? Well, don't think I'm trying not to learn. Since this is the perfect spot to learn, so teach me tonight. Starting with the ABC of it, right down to the XYZ of it. Help me solve the mystery of it, so teach me tonight. The sky to write I love you 1,000 times across the sky. One thing is very clear, my love, write I love you 1,000 times across the sky. One thing is very clear, my love. Should the teacher stand so near, my love? A graduation